Kansas, gateway to Oz. Under the rainbow, this is where it was. Hollyhocks and red ripe tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. It's the best part of Dorothy's dream.
Today on Around Kansas, we'll introduce you to Melissa Jarboe, whose selfless work with veterans honors her late husband's last wishes. Then on a lighter note, it's the story of Hugh Beaumont, a native of Lawrence, who played one of the most famous dads in America, Ward Cleaver. Next, enjoy a poem from Ron Wilson, and we'll end with the history behind the prayer, "Now I lay me down to sleep." Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, just a short drive down the Yellow Brick Road. Good morning, I'm Frank.
I'm Deb.
And this is Around Kansas in the 1st of March.
I can't believe it.
Oh, my, already. I mean, all last year we talked about, gee, this year is going fast, and here we are.
Yeah, still spinning. Still spinning.
Still spinning, yes.
Yeah,
it is.
still spinning around. And, the whole, for some reason, I get the bulletin boards from my childhood on my brain sometime. I guess because they made such a big impression. I mean, now I don't even know if they have bulletin boards in school anymore. But you had all those things, the illustrations that changed with the seasons. And so remember the ones from March. You had the March winds and in like a lamb and out like a lion. And
the March hare.
And the March hare. And
Ides of March.
You had all those beautiful little cutouts that they would, I guess, send from the, I don't know who sent them. We didn't have a Department of Education, I guess. Or maybe we did. I don't know.
Did you ever do March Basket Day? No, I'm just messing with you. That's me.
I was going to say, surely.
It's March. We're mad as a hare here. It's the March hare. Oh, my. Okay.
March basket.
Well, wouldn't it be fun? Maybe we could start a tradition on, let's pick a day, and then on that day you go out and pick flowers and put candy in a basket and deliver it to
There
your
aren't
friends.
any flowers. It's March in Kansas.
Yes, there are flowers.
Unless they blew in from Nebraska or
you've
something.
got
We don't have
tulips
any.
coming up, and
Tulips aren't up for a while, Frank.
well,
They're
mine
not.
are.
Well,
Not yet, but they will be. They're already showing.
or you could do like my Uncle Elmo used to do, and he'd go get fake flowers, and he would during the night he would stick them in his yard, and then he would pretend he would leave so that his nosy neighbor, was like Alice Kravitz, from The Witch, she would run across the street and look to see why his flowers were up and hers weren't, and then he'd walk out. He'd walk out and catch her in the yard. It was hilarious. Uncle Elmo was.
I think I'll mess with my neighbors and do that.
And they're so realistic now. But yeah, just one cold night, just wait and go out and stick
Put
those up.
flowers.
Yeah.
Wait till it snows.
Wait till it snows. That's right. Have them popping up through the snow.
And, oh, well.
Okay. So while you were putting together March baskets, I was doing important stuff, like ranking the presidents.
Yes.
So remember we did the segment on that? Well, we didn't get to tell you how the rankings came out. And once again, Abraham Lincoln was ranked number 1, which I totally don't get as much as I admire Lincoln. I was a guest speaker out at Lincoln Days, and we showed film, and, they do up Lincoln Days, right? I still don't see how he outranks Washington, who actually founded the country, won the revolution, starts the country, sets these important parameters for the presidency.
Higher name identification, I guess. Better press.
Better press, I guess, but not while he was alive. Lincoln had issues.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we have, rounding out the top 5, Franklin D. Roosevelt, then Theodore Rex, we have TR, and then number 5, Dwight D. Eisenhower, our own favorite son.
Our Kansan.
That's right, our Kansan. So go to cspan.org and just check all that out.
Is your picture on there?
I doubt it. My name is somewhere, but
So you were one of many.
I'm one of 91.
91? Oh, well, then they wouldn't put your picture up there.
No, not enough room.
Unless they said these 90 and this one.
True. Brian Lamb, are you listening? Yeah, these 90 and this one. That was brilliant, Frank.
Oh, thank you.
You know, you blew it on the March basket, but that was brilliant.
Now I need a nap. Thank you very much.
We'll be right back.
Do we have some stories?
We do. We got great stories.
Okay.
Stay with us.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information. This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life. And we're back again. This is Around Kansas. And of course, it's a show about people, places, and things that make Kansas a great place to live and work. And instead of traveling through, stop and see something.
Absolutely. Get off the highway. Just go take a look at things. If you need to know where to stop, we can tell you. We're experts at telling people where to go, aren't we, Frank?
Of course, she's been to all of them.
I've been to most of them. Yeah, I have been very blessed to know some wonderful people all over the state. Visit some cool places, some history that you just can't make up. You know, so it's interesting. And one of the most interesting people, and one of the people that I have to say I have been hugely blessed to know, is Melissa Jarboe, who is head of the Military Veterans Project. And I've been fortunate to work with Melissa on some projects, the Ride for the Fallen. But there's just so much that Melissa does, and she's just one of the people that I admire and respect most in this world. And Melissa is one of those people that circumstance created a really difficult situation for her, and rather than sit around or be defeated by that or overcome by that, she has dedicated her life to making it better for other people. And she's just amazing. So when we talk about spring coming and energy and all those positive things, that's something that Melissa manifest tenfold. Is just energy and a positive nature and this can do. So I'm just so thrilled to share her with those of you that don't know her already.
In April 2011, Staff Sergeant Jamie Jarboe was serving in the Zawari district of Afghanistan when he was fired upon by a sniper with an AK-47. The bullet penetrated Staff Sergeant Jarboe's spine, leaving him a quadriplegic and paralyzed from the chest down. Staff Sergeant Jarboe never gave up the fight on the battlefield, nor did his wife once they returned to American soil. Jamie and Melissa spent the next 11 months inside 7 different hospitals. Through it all, their love for country and fellow service members kept alive the dream of one day going home to Kansas and living happily ever after. In March 2012, doctors told Melissa that her husband was terminal and that she needed to place him in hospice care. Facing his final duty, Jamie told his wife never to forget he loved her and the girls, and finally to take care of his fellow soldiers. In the months preceding Jamie's death, Melissa launched the Jamie Jarboe Foundation, now the Military Veteran Project, a nonprofit which honors and empowers military veterans. The Foundation's mission is funding the most promising research to find cures for post-traumatic stress disorder and traumatic brain injury to assist with suicide prevention. While that mission sounds noble, the reality is much more so. Melissa, in honoring her husband's wishes, gives veterans and their families hope. She helps them navigate a daunting system. She listens, she acts, she cares. Melissa said, "Each day I choose to wake up, give thanks to God for creating such a man to show me what true selfless sacrifice is, what dedication to country meant, and open my eyes to a world of caring for others."
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
There's a lot of different ways of doing this woodwork, but all of it still takes both hands.
He had been told that by the orthopedic specialist in Enid, Oklahoma, that they would have to fuse his thumb.
And I said, no, cut it off, because I didn't want it sticking up. And I found out about the Kansas regenerative stem cell and went to Manhattan.
We were so impressed with how royally we were treated the first time we came to Kansas Regenerative.
We came in and he took out the stem cells. It took about an hour for him to process them before they put him back in my knees and my thumb. And we were out of here in about 4 hours and on our way back home. And I'm in here today to have my shoulders, my hips, and my back done. So I'll be able to go back to my sawmill, my shop, and do about anything I want to do.
Fort Wallace stood on the frontier in the midst of the Plains Indians Wars on a major stage route and rail line. Beside the 1865 stagecoach station, a modern museum with thousands of artifacts tell that story, like the fossil of a 40-foot plesiosaur is suspended from the ceiling. Located on Highway 40 midway between Hayes and Colorado Springs, the Fort Wallace Museum is as welcome a sight today as the fort itself in the 1860s. Discover the fightingest fort in the West. This segment brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. You want to start this one?
I will. That was nice of you to let me start this, right? I'm at a loss for words.
Well, you know.
Anyway, let's talk about some classic TV shows. And of course, still airs all over the world. It may be one of those shows that has never stopped airing all over the world, and that's Leave It to Beaver.
Leave It to Beaver, yep.
And they just were kind of the iconic parents.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that had parents like them, but you know, that certainly didn't match my household. But
well, you had Ozzie and Harriet that was
Ozzie
kind of
and
that
Harriet.
way. But really, even when it went to TV, but both David and Ricky were a little bit older at that time. And of course, Ricky was trying to be a rock star. But in Leave It to Beaver, you had a couple of brothers that were some years apart, you know. And so and of course, the Cleaver family was, I guess, that iconic family of the 50s.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Dad got home, and the only thing is, you look at it now and say, he got home and he never took off his jacket and his tie. You know?
Well, he might put on a sweater sometimes, and he would sit and read the newspaper and smoke that beautiful pipe, and he just always had words of wisdom.
Yeah,
you know, who didn't want a dad like that?
And June always had her,
her little
string of pearls.
And her hair was always done, and she'd be washing and cooking and doing all these things, and she looked like she just stepped out of the fashion. Yeah, really. No, didn't match my reality at all.
No. Well, but the thing is that was it. It was something to kind of look at, to look up to, maybe.
Yeah.
And say, that's a way a family can be happy.
Right. And they were happy. They were encouraging of one another, and so a lot of positive qualities. Yeah. So what we're going to talk about with this segment is the dad of that show, Hugh Beaumont.
Yes, and he's from Kansas.
He's from Kansas. We don't make this stuff up, people. We don't have to. That's pretty amazing. Yeah. I actually was blown away to find out he was from Kansas.
I didn't know it either till somebody did the research on the story. And, when I got that story, I thought, really? I had no idea.
I know. That's exactly what I thought. Seriously? Another amazing Kansan.
Yeah. So,
let's take a look.
He was the most famous dad in America, and his character was the measuring stick for fathers for decades. The Cleaver household became the standard folks aspired to and remains a cultural icon. Even Rich Williams, guitarist in the band Kansas, said he had a Beaver Cleaver upbringing, knowing that folks would understand the reference. And now the classic TV show Leave It to Beaver, Ward and June Cleaver, were the idealized suburban parents, Ward, a white-collar professional, and June, the pearl-wearing housewife. Their boys, Wally and Theodore, the Beaver, were the focus of the show, learning life lessons and always firmly guided by a wise dad. Beaumont was the perfect choice to portray that dad. The Lawrence Journal-World reported that he was born in Lawrence in 1909, though other accounts say it was actually Eudora. Beaumont's own father was a traveling salesman, so the family moved often. Beaumont passed away while visiting his son in Munich in 1982. In addition to his acting career, Beaumont was an ordained Methodist minister. He once commented on his chosen profession that, "Sometimes my work as an actor presents a conflict with my ideals as a clergyman. I don't believe in the old saying that the end justifies the means, and no money that I can earn as an actor can accomplish so much good that I would feel justified in violating my ideals to earn it. If the question ever arises in a serious way, of course, I would have to give up my acting." Lord Cleaver couldn't have said it better. Tarwater Farm and Home has been family-owned and operated since its beginning in 1978. What you need for farm and agriculture, lawn and garden, clothing and footwear, and so much more. You'll be surprised at what you'll find in this huge store. They have what you need and lots of it. So come take a look. You'll discover that customer service is first and foremost. Always has been with the Tarwaters. Tarwater Farm and Home, 4107 North Topeka Boulevard. Buffalo Bill Cody earned his legendary title in Oakley. Bring the family and come celebrate Oakley's pioneering history and unique geography at two sites, the Buffalo Bill Cultural Center and the Fick Fossil Museum. Cody's statue marks his achievements and welcomes visitors to the Cultural Center. The Fick Fossil Museum houses world-class fossils and artifacts. You'll find Oakley at the hub of U.S. Highways 83 and 40 and I-70. Stop for the legend. Stay for the day. Discover Oakley.
This Medford, New Jersey school bus runs on biodiesel, and so do these. In fact, all of these buses run on clean-burning biodiesel, which is great because the more we use biodiesel in our heavy-duty vehicles, the less carbon pollution in our air. Think how great it would be if more of our school buses ran on biodiesel. More biodiesel, less carbon pollution. More is less. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Grain Sorghum, growers working together. Find out more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
Another landmark of the Flint Hills are the deep ravines, the deep draws, and the stone, which might look simple to a bureaucrat sitting at a desk, but when it comes time to build fences, you need to call on somebody special. This poem is entitled Uphill and Down, a tribute to the fencing man. The government man sits at a desk and draws a simple line and says, "Here where the property ends, a fence here would be fine." But what seems so simple in the government domain doesn't match the real world of the natural terrain. For when we need a fence built across this rugged land, we need a hard-working expert. We need the fencing man. Yes, the fencing man is he who suffers the consequence when the Flint Hills are the place that's required to build a fence. By contrast, in the flatlands, building fence can be a breeze, but out here in the Flint Hills, we can't build a fence with ease. When that line cuts across the steepest of these hills, it creates a major challenge which the fencing man fulfills. It's one thing to build fence where the land is flat and level, but it's different on these hillsides with a 60-degree bevel. It's a place where a pickup truck or four-wheeler can't squeeze, so he drags a chainsaw out by hand to cut the brush and trees. Seems it's the most inaccessible place we need the fences most, so he's hiking up a side hill with a driver and T-posts. Then he's sliding down the draw where the sides are very steep and the ground is too darn rocky to drive the posts in very deep. So while the government man draws a line across the aerial maps, the fencing man is on the ground with barbed wire and water gaps. It looks easy sitting in a room drawing up a man-made plan, but it ain't easy in the Flint Hills, so we salute the fencing man. Happy trails.
Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego is driven by the spirit of American ingenuity. Come in for a new Chevrolet car, truck, or SUV. If we don't have exactly what you want, we'll find it for you. And we also have a great selection of used cars. We make sure you have an easy, fun, and transparent sales experience that saves you time and money. But if you want high-pressure salesmen and hours spent in the finance office, you'll just have to go elsewhere. Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're making car buying great again.
KFRM is one of the largest farm radio stations in the nation, dedicated to informing and entertaining rural listeners from northern Oklahoma to southwestern Nebraska. You can catch KFRM in many ways. Of course, 550 on the AM dial, streaming at kfrm.com, or on your smartphone by going to the TuneIn Radio app, or on Ag AM in Kansas on Tuesdays and Facebook every day of the week. KFRM, tune us in. You'll be glad you did.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter. Hello, this is Around Kansas. I'm Frank, she's Deb, and you're not.
Still around Kansas.
Silly jokes. But
still around Kansas.
Yeah.
Haven't been kicked out yet.
Yeah. You know, I know what the next story is, but the thing is I don't know if children still say a little prayer before they go to bed at night, but
they better be.
but they might. But that's kind of what this next story is about. And this is a fascinating thing, and I don't want to get ahead of the game. So,
Well, it's a really sweet story, and this came to my attention through our friend Keith George, and we did a segment on Keith several months ago. And Keith is in the process of writing a book, and he's the one who's been documenting Highway 83, going up and down the road. But he's writing this book, and he started researching this little prayer, "Now I lay me down to sleep." So this is, again, the wonderful thing about Facebook. He's posting all this stuff on Facebook, and I'm like, wow. Again, like the Hugh Beaumont thing, it's like, I had no idea. And so that's the fun of this show, is we get to share all those aha moments with you guys, because it's like, wow, I didn't know that. And it's something... this may be our whole theme for March, is things that appear really ordinary, but when you start looking at them, there's really something special. And this little prayer that so many people around the world are familiar with, and it's not always been this way, and Hugh Beaumont, he was in your TV in your living room via the TV, all the time, and you find out something special, just take a couple of minutes to ask a few questions or learn something, and it will enrich your life.
Let's take a look.
It's a common prayer that most of us have said before turning in at night. Keith George became curious about its origins and began investigating. Did you know the poem was derived from Psalms 4:8? "Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take." Keith was surprised to find that it did not start out as a poem, but rather an essay credited to Joseph Addison in 1711. Originally, he had adapted the psalm to read, "When I lay me down to sleep, I recommend myself to his care. When I awake, I myself up to his direction. Amen." Doesn't quite have the same lilting language, does it? So the essay evolved into the prayer, but our familiar verse is only half the poem. Here are the remaining verses. "Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. If I should live for other days, I pray the Lord to guide my ways. Father, unto thee I pray. Thou hast guarded me all day. Safe I am while in thy sight. Safely let me sleep tonight. Bless my friends, the whole world bless. Help me learn forgetfulness. Keep me ever in thy sight. So to all I say good night." In all, Keith has found 24 versions of the treasured verse as it continues to evolve, rewritten by clergy and moms and dads, and probably even children kneeling by their beds as they take the words of the song, just like Addison did, and make them their own.
Oh, gee, I was watching that last story. Well, we're done.
That's sweet. Yeah.
So I'm Frank.
I'm Deb.
And we'll see you somewhere
around Kansas.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.
Hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. We're the best part